Hi, and welcome back to another exciting episode of CityScope. I'm your host, Jane, and today we're going to do another episode of the what, where, when, why, how, who, any events, people, places, things going on in Leominster or the general Leominster area. So today we have two very creative people who live in the area and are collaborating together, which I think is very exciting. Years ago, I did a show on artists, entrepreneurs, people that speak their mind, and I just love getting creatives together to show the area, the Leominster world and beyond, what they're up to. I think it's a really cool thing to show and introduce. So today we've got Cindy Stone from Faire Game Designs and Jonathan Root from J Root Photography. And we've got a really large set of wings behind us. So this is a collaboration that's, I mean, you guys have both done your own work for a while. Mm-hmm. And so how long have you known each other?
Not long.
No. Yeah.
Surprisingly, only a few months, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really exciting to see the collaboration and how this has just taken off so quickly.
I always have really crazy ideas in my head, and I finally found somebody who's willing to pull them off. So that's why it's taken off as quickly as it has.
Excellent. So that seems to be going pretty well then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, having a lot of fun with it, and we've already got a lot of future plans. I think I've got her busy for a while.
So Jonathan, I know you've been doing photography. How long have you been doing photography for?
Overall, I've been doing photography about 12 years. I've only been doing people for 9, though.
Okay.
I started as a wildlife photographer, and then somebody asked me to do senior photos, and I said, I don't shoot people.
Right.
They convinced me to do it, and then somebody else did, and then it just snowballed. And
Well, I actually saw some of your work probably like 10 years ago. Do you remember when the Leominster Art Center was downtown on Main Street?
Absolutely.
I used to go there. I remember when it first started. I was a member down there, and they used to have the Friday night, was it First Friday things, and they had classes there. And I saw some of your work there.
Well, my mentor, who, I mean, everybody in Leominster knows him. He's very well, Ray Wallace. Okay. We actually met down there. Well, we met at the Camera Club, but then we hung out down there, and he's the one who kind of talked me into getting into photography a little bit more. I showed him some of my stuff, and he told me I should run with it and have fun with it. And so I do remember the Leominster Art Center. As a matter of fact, I was working for the Sentinel at the time, or just not working for them, but doing photos for them. And when it burned down, I had all the photos in the paper.
Wow.
From when the Columbia building burned down.
Yes, 2012.
Yeah, and I had quite a few prints in there.
Really?
At the time,
Gee, wow. Yeah. Well, I remember because I had a piece, you had done a trip, like, you know, when photographer clubs or what have you go on these trips and you go to a location.
Yep.
And I saw a photograph that you had done when you went to Rockport.
The Rockport Light?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people have seen that.
Yeah, and there was like a free print or something there at the art center, and I was like, oh, I'm going to grab it. So I still have it at home. So I've known of you for like, 10 years or so.
That's great.
I haven't met you actually in person until today. So this is really exciting. So. But then you got into other, from there, when did you start doing more models?
It just kind of morphed into, I think it started with senior photos, and I got sick of the same poses, the same, lean against this tree, do that, and I wanted to have more fun with it, and started, I'd show up for a senior photo shoot, and the girls would have 1 or 2 pieces, and then I'd have 3 or 4 dresses that they could wear. And they always ended up using my big long dress and stuff like that.
Right.
And the shots turned into, instead of leaning against the tree, they were in a waterfall or that. And it was a little more interesting, a little more fun. The seniors had a lot more fun doing it because it wasn't just your typical poses. And then it just kind of rolled. I had a couple of designers reached out to me, and I did work for them. I got working with Angelica Timas. I got to be on a billboard in Times Square.
Wow.
With a couple of girls that were on Project Runway. So it just kind of took off on me.
Right.
Nothing I really
Excellent.
planned for or expected.
Right. Well, I mean, kind of doing, senior pictures. I remember back in the day, it was like kind of boring. You had
Yeah,
that,
it was
like,
turn your knees
awful
as far this
backdrop.
way as you can, then twist your torso this
Right,
way,
right.
and then put your chin up and look as
Gotta
far
do
up to the
this.
sky. Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Everybody did, and they had I was in the '80s.
Yes,
So I had
right.
the Star Wars whatever background behind.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. They
Or
were
you had
horrible.
the one where you had your face, and then you had like a weird other face.
Yeah, the Will
just
Ferrell shot.
slightly
Will Ferrell
different.
did that with his cat, I think. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, what the? So it's come a long way. I mean, you
has.
see a lot of senior photos, and they're way out on location.
Senior photos are
and-
fashion shoots now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think it's a lot more fun for the seniors. It's something that they're going to want to look at and remember more than just,
Ugh, here, Grandma. Here you go. Just so yeah. No, that's awesome.
And then
that
I got to
you
work
could
for
do
a
that.
City Country magazine, was an
Nice.
international magazine for about 6 years.
Okay.
So that allowed me to shoot with people like Ayla Brown and people like that. So
Wow.
it just became much bigger than anything I thought it was going to be. And now I'm just having fun with it.
Good. Well, if you're not having fun,
Well, I hate my day job, so this kind of,
okay, good.
this keeps the stress level down.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Awesome. So, Cindy, you've been doing this for like 30 years.
I have. I've
Right.
been sewing off and on for 30 years, and I really started in the costume industry.
Yes.
I was costuming plays up at the Mount.
Oh, wow.
I costumed quite a few of the Clinton High School theater productions. Actually did a production for U Lowell. It was still U Lowell at the time.
Okay.
And I did work for a small company in Boston. It was a guild where they made their own plays, and so I did
Okay.
a little bit of work for that. And that was a treat, trying to carry the sewing machine out there for last minute alterations.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
On the tee.
Oh, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So you've been doing this for quite a while.
I have, and just this last year, I actually made it official.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, got my
Congratulations.
business license for it, and
Excellent.
have been paired up with a lot of interesting people. Jonathan and I met through a woman named Jody Lassonde, who's runs fashion shows, charity fashion shows, and so she had me come and do the measurements while Jonathan was taking headshots of the models and the full lengths of the models. So that's when we started talking just between shoots of,
Right.
he said, hey, crazy question, can you make this? Of course I can. Can you make this? Of course I can. What about this? I'm already working on one. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Right. Yeah.
So that the I'm already working on it is a card dress, which I'm hoping everyone will be able to see in the next
Excellent.
year.
Oh, good.
I'll finish it up
Wow.
for that.
Wow. So, I mean, I've seen when I first met you, you were doing a lot of more, it was like horror kind of Halloween themed costumes and also, Ren Fair type of things.
Right, right.
So, you still doing a little
Absolutely.
bit of that or branching off from that
I
more?
will take on anything because
Anything,
if
yes.
it feels creative to me, it's very rewarding.
Okay.
My horror days where I was working with a personality called Flinch.
Okay.
And so I ended up remotely getting measurements from him, sending pictures of sketches, approving sketches, and then making an outfit that he loved. He loved, and he took his last version of headshots and stuff with it. So
Right.
the Ren Fair stuff, absolutely, I've done. I have a couple pieces actually out there that you'll probably see come August, September.
So what was I going to say? So yeah, that's. I mean, I like the progression and that you're open to anything. You're open to all kinds of different styles and such, and different ideas. I mean, I love how you kind of combined one type of look, but then made it more like a formal. Combine them together at the last fashion show that I saw. It was like, okay, interesting look, but you could still, dress up and wear it out someplace too.
Yeah.
I love that. So let's look at some of the photos that you guys have done together, if you want to bring anything up. And if you want to talk about,
That's my logo.
I love that. That's really nice. Okay, so tell me about this piece.
This is something I had in my head for a few years.
Okay.
I wanted I've done wedding shoots, I've done things, and wedding gowns are beautiful, but they're white, they tend to be the same over and over again. I wanted denim, a flowing denim wedding gown. And at the day that she came up when I was doing the headshots, I brought it up to her, and maybe 2 days later, you had sent me pictures of a bunch of denim on a dress form already, so she started running with it. And we had tried to shoot it for almost a month with another model, and it just didn't work out.
Okay.
So this is actually a young lady who just lives in town. She knew my daughter when they were like 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
So I called her up and I said, you want to put a dress on and go walk around? And we went up to the Minuteman Visitor Center up by the old North Bridge and just, 20
Nice.
minutes, got the shots in that we needed. And
Excellent. Excellent.
finally got the denim dress.
It's unique. I like that. Oh, now this is beautiful. And I like the model too. She definitely has a look going that
She's a
that I
professional
like.
fitness model.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, this is the lady. Yeah.
Jacqueline Canny.
She
yeah,
is.
Yeah, she's something. She's
Definitely. That's really cool. I like that.
This was the idea he came up to me
Yes.
about. He said, I want a really feminine dress, but I want the front to be basket. So literally we can put flowers, feathers, or whatever we'd
Okay.
like in the basket. So it's
Nice.
actually 4 pieces,
Okay.
but this happens to be the shot with the basket on the front.
Okay.
So
Very cool. Very cool. Okay.
The
So
wings.
The
here we
wings.
are.
the wings.
And you brought them with you.
I did this
So-
set, yeah.
I remember you telling me about these when you were getting ready to make them.
And that photo was
yeah.
actually just a test shoot because we got the wings and I needed
Yeah.
to show people because I want to start booking
Right.
shoots with them and everything. So she's actually another local. She lives in Townsend. Brilliant girl, just graduated from WPI. She does computer engineering, cyber security. She's brilliant. She's also a professional dirt bike rider and everything. So she agreed to just come up to the studio in the last
Yeah.
second and
Excellent.
I work with a lot of fashion industry magazines. They're not
Yes.
Cosmo or Vogue or anything like that.
Okay.
But a lot of them are international. A lot of them are overseas. And that was actually a French magazine that they reach out to me once a week and they're like, do you have anything we need to fill? So whatever I've done for shoots, I sent them. And that one they saw and they were like, yeah, that's going on the cover.
Excellent.
So that
Excellent.
was kind of a fun little,
Okay.
just for
What
a
else?
test shoot.
And this, okay.
Oh, and
Now,
then
where is this?
That is actually at the Acton Arboretum.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful place
Okay.
if you've never been.
I haven't.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll
nice little
check
place,
it out.
nice little walking
Yeah.
grounds. But that's in the Oriental Garden. It's just a little covered bridge. Doesn't go over water. It's just a dry bridge.
Okay.
But it fit
Very
well
nice.
with the dress, the wings, and
Definitely. Oh, wow.
that's the other set of wings.
That's the other set. Okay. Very nice.
This one, I when she showed up with these, I love these. The whole top, and you can see in more detail if you look at the cover, is rooster feathers. So when
Oh,
you get
okay.
the sunlight just right, you get that
the
green, the
iridescence.
blue,
Yes.
the
Yes. Okay.
So very cool.
Wow.
And there they are again with Jackie.
A Jackie. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I love that shot. I just
Yeah, I
love that
wasn't
it
supposed to be on the
reflects.
roof, but I wanted that
Okay.
shot, so we went on the roof.
Right. Right. And it had it just rained or something.
It,
or
it had
Yeah.
rained and it's a
Okay.
flat roof, so
Yeah.
you can still see the storm clouds. It had just rained, so
Excellent. Oh, and this is one of the newer ones.
Right.
we just shot on
So-
Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
She's a local artist. She sings all
she's a
over
singer. Right.
around
Right.
here. She
Okay.
sings at all the local establishments.
So it's kind of like a butterfly vibe to it.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. The dress is actually made of the larger butterfly wings, and then the top
Okay.
has some of the smaller pieces of the wings.
And this
but
was right up at Sholin Farms.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Excellent. And you have, is this the same piece?
It is.
It is? Okay.
It is, yep. Yep, so that piece really was not made by pattern. You really kind of had to have the dress form and put the pieces on the dress form to get the fit, the look. How is this wing going to end up? Is this the right angle? And I love how it came out. I love the
She
feel.
wouldn't tell me what it was. She just told me she had something.
Yeah, right. I said, you're going to love it. He's like, I already do. And I said, no, you're going to love it. So when I
That's
showed up with it,
beautiful.
he's like, oh, okay, we got to shoot it.
Right. Right. Very nice. Now, and what about this piece over here? What's this
That
from?
piece is actually featured in a video that should be coming out. I'm working with a singer named Alyssa Velasquez from Connecticut, and she has now shot 2 videos with my pieces in it, but this video is actually for her original song. So I wanted to bring that piece to show you that I don't want to say any more about the video only
Right.
because it's not produced yet.
Right,
And
right.
there's a really interesting theme in it. So this is the ending dress, I will say
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So now both of you live in the area. Do you live in Leominster?
Born and
or-
raised.
Born and raised in
Yep,
Leominster.
spent a little time out west, but found my way back.
Yes. And you live in Shirley.
I do.
And you just cleared your space. You have
I did.
more of a space to,
Yeah.
which I think is so important as artists to really have a space that you can go to and say, okay, everybody, leave me alone. I'm going in and get in the zone and start making things and, you know, have it separate from the rest of your life and what you're doing.
Exactly, yeah. I'm
Very
a
important.
partial empty nester, only because my son has moved out, but my daughter, who is 10, obviously
Right.
is still there. So we wanted to do the old switcheroo with the rooms, cleared
Yeah.
it all out, painted it all out, and now I actually have my sewing room back in the original room that it was in before she was
Right.
born. So,
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah, it's funny
kind
how kids just
right, it's
throw
kind
a
of come
wrench in
full
everything,
circle
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But I can already feel my creativity and my efficiency coming back. I'm not half in this room and half out here and half over here. I have this space now where I can really pull my ideas together, and I don't have to run all over the house just to find the pieces that I need to bring the idea to paper, the paper to pattern, the pattern to fabric, and then the fabric to life.
Right.
Honestly, the easiest part of my job is the sewing, because that's just step after step after step. The hardest part about my creativity steps is the thinking about it, because once you cut fabric, you can't do anything else than work with what you've cut. So
Right.
there is a lot of thinking that happens before I execute a piece. And sketches, I'm not a great sketch artist, but I have sketchbooks full of ideas
Yeah.
that, you know, I'll flip through and say, I forgot about that. I'm going to make that a reality now. And so that's what happened with this. The butterfly dress I have been thinking about for a very long time, and he just mentioned that he'd like to do something like that. And I said, I'm on it. I already, I've been thinking about it too for a long time. So I'm really happy with this collaboration, even though we do have our separate entities and we do our own things too.
Yes. Right.
I just think it's a great outlet for me to actually have a way to do my creativity, and a way for you to shoot some shots that wouldn't necessarily exist.
Right.
Because it's not your standard
interesting.
evening gown.
I like to call
Right.
them scroll stoppers. People are scrolling through and, oh, what was that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's my
Absolutely.
name, and
Yep.
now they know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, in order to manifest something, really, in order to make something change or happen or what have you, you need to clear that space. You need to kind of clear things out, make a space for it, and then it'll fill in. And that's why I think when you know, now you know, you can have your space and set it up in that room where you can do everything, and even, you know, have a client over. Come on into my office. Here
Right.
it is back here. You don't have to sit in the living room or,
Right.
you know, watch out for the cats or whatever. It's like we're going right to the space, and that's awesome.
Right.
I think that's really good. So, you know, is there anything else you want to talk about? Or?
Well, we have some future ideas
Yes, please.
I have a lot.
already.
Please, I want to hear. What's
already
the future?
in the works.
Well, I think the most recent one is, like I said, I do a lot of the magazine work, so I think I've
Okay.
been in over almost 400 publications now. So I have tons of covers and pictures and everything. So I'm gonna tear them all up, give them to her, and I want her to make a dress out of my magazine covers.
Oh,
So
wow.
It'll almost be like a magazine cover of magazine
yeah.
covers of magazine covers. It'll be this triple layer, and of course I'm already fusing it in my head. So I do typically work in fabric, but I have worked in other
Feathers.
mediums.
Yes, other mediums. Yeah.
And shots
yeah,
like that allow me to, I do the outdoor portraits, I do everything, but I'm also, I'm now a certified portrait master, so I have to do competitions every year to retain,
Oh, okay.
and I have to try and work to the next level, earn more medals. So creative shots like that in the studio space give me a chance to do the portraiture, to keep going with
Okay.
the portrait masters, which is, it's something I worked hard to do. Took a number of years to finally get certified, get the points I needed, and now I want to keep it. So something like that with the creativity, a little bit of background, and not much editing, because I don't like to edit. We
Right,
talked about that
yeah.
before the show. I'm
Yes,
too old to
yes.
learn how to use Photoshop, so if I don't get it right in the camera, I try again.
Well, I think sometimes you can edit too much.
Oh, absolutely, and I see it a lot.
yeah,
A lot with
yeah.
a lot of photographers. It's make the eyes jump out a little too much, smooth the skin a little too much. You can clean edit if somebody's having
Yeah.
a bad day and they've got some blemishes. Obviously, you're going to take that out, but
Right, right.
you're going to look like you when I take a photo of you.
Right, right, exactly. I mean, I've done some modeling with some photographers, and there's certain things where I'm like, yeah, can you take that line out here? And I don't want it to look too unnatural, but
And
or
there's ways
little,
to do it
little
naturally
way,
and
but to not
enhance.
make it look fake. I want it to, like you said, enhance, but not look too over edited.
And the big thing with editing is people will take, and I've known some photographers that they're not great photographers, but they're phenomenal photoshoppers. So
Right.
if you look at their raw photos, it's nothing really, but they've got the Photoshop background. Well, I don't have the Photoshop background, so my lighting has to be right, exposure, everything has to be right when I take my shot, because that's about all I'm going to do.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Oh, I'm a photographer. Like, it's one thing you're taking a photo with your phone, but it's another thing where you know how to set up the f-stops and
Well, and that's actually knowing
colors
the
and
camera.
everything.
Photography goes beyond knowing the camera.
Yes. Yes.
There's a
definitely.
lot more in the composition of a photo than there is in pushing the button. I can teach anybody how to adjust the camera. You can't
Right.
teach somebody how
Exactly.
the composition of a photo to make it artistic and not live by the camera club's rule of thirds and this.
Yeah,
No, you can
right,
break the
right.
rules. That's what
Right,
art is
right.
all about.
I find that in video too, as
Mm-hmm.
well. Doing videography, and also, I've also enjoyed editing, and I am more of a documentarian where I love telling stories, and I'm constantly like taking video of people talking about family history or photographs and putting something together. I'm kind of like, I feel this crazy need to just document my life for some reason. I don't know who's going to look at it
Never know.
40 years from now, but I just think it's cool, and that's why I love being here and this documenting something like this. Like, it's a little piece of time that we've preserved, and somebody might be interested in it.
Sure.
You don't know, So I just think it's really cool. And anything else? I mean,
Well, I mean, the next charity fashion show is coming
Yes,
up, so
okay.
I'm
preparing for that.
very busy preparing for that, and I always take on more probably than I should.
What did you do last time? 17 pieces? 20?
19 looks. So it was
Okay.
about 25 pieces for 19 looks in 5 weeks.
Wow.
So I actually work better under pressure. Having
Right.
as much time as I did for this next show is a little bit harder because I can overthink it. I can
Right.
overthink every aspect. I can overthink every decision. And when I get down to 6 or 7 weeks out, no more time. Make a decision and run with it.
Right.
And luckily, they've all come out really well. I got a really nice reception for my first show. I'm hoping to get a nice reception for my second show. And I actually, from that first show, developed some relationships and some future work with other collaborators, honestly. I mean, Alyssa, the singer, I'm working with Musically Sincere, a rapper. I actually made a pageant-winning gown for classic Ms. New England Petite. So,
Yeah, that was great.
Rose
Yep.
Bombino, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
So,
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
I love seeing you get so excited about what you do. And we've sat and talked about, oh, you're like, I got this idea, and it's like, I love that. I think
And now
it's
she's
just,
got twice as many ideas.
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
I send her messages every day.
right. And it's just, it feeds into, when people are collaborating and talking together. I just love that energy that happens. Because we have to be supportive of each other, and just I don't know, it's just keep it going, because that's just we may have our mundane job, but then we have to use this to kind of keep going. So
And I find we push
yes.
each other a little bit. Like when he approached me about the wings,
Yes.
he said, "Can you do this?" Now, truthfully, I'd never done wings before, but I kind of thought about it, researched it, and he was sending me pictures of monochromatic wings,
Okay.
wings of all one color. And without his permission, even though he was a paying client, I went out on a limb and said, "I'm going to make these ombre." And I brought him to him, and he,
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
"Oh my goodness, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have thought of that. That's wonderful." And that's why we put the ombre also in the black wings.
And we have a smaller set of the pink wings.
Yeah.
So I can do
Okay.
mother-daughter shoots.
Yeah,
That's
the
great.
baby shoots.
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. All right.
So,
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
yeah,
You know?
it was an absolute my pleasure to be here
Yeah.
and to chat with you and just expose our work a little bit more and again our collaboration. And
Yeah, that's what I think is just so wonderful that you guys have met and you live in the area and just supporting each other and
We just have fun.
you have fun. There's not a lot of drama and
Right.
just getting the work done
Exactly.
and enjoying it. So
Exactly.
so I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.